Several players left to go join military service, like Joe DiMaggio. These teams in the military competed against each other as well. Cy got a little bit of trouble though before he signed up. He befriended a gentleman that took over as owner of the Philadelphia Phillies named Bill Cox. In this photograph is Bill Cox, and to his left is the president of the National League, Ford Frick. Now, there was rumor that Cox was very upset about a call by a National League umpire and argued with Ford Frick, and Ford Frick wasn't going to talk to him. And Cy and Bill kind of teamed up against each other. Cy was awarded the chance to pitch in the All-Star game, the 43 All-Star game, as batting practice pitch. And Cy took that as, I should be able to pitch in the game. Now, I don't know if that's the real story or Bill Cox wrote the telegram. The telegram read, Mr. Cyrus K. Johnson regrets that he will be unable to attend your bunting and throwing party on July 13th. And that's written to the National League president, which was pretty bold. And Cy kind of caught good vibes and bad vibes through the newspapers I read. Some people were like, way to go. Some people were, how could you? Cy kind of got away from the madness. Johnny Mize said, join the Navy, come with me. You can play ball. You can still play ball. You can play Navy ball. Come with me. Cy left this photograph. This newspaper stated 7/11/43. It was 2 days before the All-Star game. And Cy was already having his physical exam for the draft board. He was stationed at Great Lakes Naval Base. Shortly after he was there, he got a terrible ear infection. He had a mastoid ear infection. He had to have a surgery, so he was down for a time. And then he played for the Great Lakes Blue Jackets. That was the Navy team. He was coached by Mickey Cochran, the great catcher from Detroit. Cy actually subbed in for Mickey once when he was out of town. They played against the Indiana State Prison, the Bunker Hill Naval Air Station, and the Indiana City All-Stars, as well as against the Army and the Marines. Cy had a great time doing this. There was also several other major leaguers on the team. Some minors were on there. Johnny Mize was on his team, and Schoolboy Rowe was another player. 1946, Cy gets to go back to the Phillies that are still losing. In 1946, Cy decides to sign with the Boston Braves. He pitches his last major league game on September 27, 1946. 6'8" pitching record. He's 40 years old. He is tired. But he lost the game, and he's still not even. In 1948, 49, and 1950, he works as a pitching coach for the Boston Braves. And he coaches these two gentlemen here, which is Warren Spahn and Johnny Saint. And in 1948, during the pennant race, there was actually a turn point of Spahn and Saint and pray for rain. Because the way it worked was Warren Spahn would win game, and then Johnny Saint would win the game, and then there would be 2 days of rain, and then Spahn would pitch again, and win, and kept on going in that succession. They won, and they won the World Series. There's a picture of Cy holding his World Series ring that he got as a coach of the Boston Braves. He was part of the team. He's very proud of that ring. And after 17 and a half years of organized baseball, Cy was thrown to jail to work as a fireman. Fireman is the term for the one who changed the water heaters, the boiler maker, the boilers in there, that he would actually maintain the heat in the building. He did that for 16 years. In April 1965, Cyrus's father, Nels Johnson, is deceased. September 66, his brother Tillman is deceased. June 1986, his wife died. And that's a photograph that a lot of people recognize in town here. That's the 1985 Big League Collectibles card number 72. This is the card that I found signed. In April 1992, Cyrus Johnson was interviewed by reporter Jim Madsen from WHOI and NBC TV for his link to Babe Ruth. July 6, 1992, the village of Sheridan decided to name Main Street after Cy Johnson. Cy Johnson Avenue was made on July 6, 1992, and on that same evening, he threw out the first pitch at Wrigley Field for the Chicago Cubs versus Cincinnati Reds game. There he is with Ron Santo. In January 24, 1993, he was inducted into the Pitch and Hit Hall of Fame for his years of service in the majors and his move to Babe Ruth. June 14, 1993, he's in Sports Illustrated. Interviewed by Mark Vandernock. We talked to Mark about the interview. He said it was great talking inside. And a lot of people request copies of this magazine today. The following day, he was interviewed by this gentleman, Jimmy Myers, from WPBI of Boston. It was a great, funny interview where Cy complained about the price of admission into baseball parks, how you can't take your family there, without paying thousands of dollars. He said it's not fair to people that the game should be cheaper to come watch. And then in December 1993, Silas appeared on the Doug Phone Show, which was recorded right at the Hollywood Casino in Aurora. And in February 1994, his brother Alvin was deceased. In 1993, Cy was actually included in this book called The Worst Pitchers of All Time. Bad Arms, Bad Luck, Bad Teams. I stress teams. The whole book is about all the players, the pitchers that were not good. Cy is in the category of I was with that team that couldn't put any runs on the board at all. May 12, 1994, Silas died from complications of cancer. I heard it was a very nice service. Peggy filled me in on it. Paul Bear is there, Kenny Johnson's on there, Mike Rock, Paul Burnham, Darrell Thompson, Barry Johnson, and Tom Allen. This is Cy in total here. His major league numbers get 2,281 innings pitched. That's baseball. 101 wins, 165 losses. Minors, 1,198 innings. 3,379 innings pitched. That's a lot of work. In 2010, he was inducted into the Newark, or there at the high school, the Newark School Hall of Fame, which is nice. They have it right in the cafeteria, so all the kids can see it. And from talking to the teachers there, kids still ask, what's a Cy Johnson, who's that, and that story can go on. Anybody have any questions?
No, great job.
You guys enjoyed it?
Remember tonight, really? I was old when I was old when I did it. Yeah, probably. I'm going to get old with viewing for a long time.
Oh, I'm sorry, I don't have that. It's a cool glove, ain't it?
It is. Is he buried here in Sheridan?
Yes.
Well, thanks a lot. We appreciate it. Thank everyone for coming. We have treats here for everyone. If you want to ask questions here before you go home, or take some time to look at. We got a lot of nice stuff. Kenny brought us a lot of stuff to look at. There's a lot of items out there to look at. So, thanks very much.
Oh, really?
Hey, here, put this in your office. Don't lose it.